All right, y'all, we are back on the charts for, I believe, day 9 of the Path to Profitability series. Today, we're going to be covering something that is essential to our trading strategy. This is one of the key components of my main trading strategy. So if you don't understand this, you cannot trade my main trading strategy because it revolves mostly around this, right? This and trends. And the topic we're going to cover, I'm sure you guys read it in the title already. I don't know why I'm hiding it for so long, but it's going to be momentum. So this topic, today's videos, I don't think it's going to be that long because momentum isn't a complex subject, but it might take some time to grasp and some time to spot. And I'm sure you guys have seen it in the markets before. All right, excuse me. So we're going to be covering momentum, how to spot it, what it looks like, how do I use it in my system, and all that good stuff today. So what is momentum? Momentum is whenever we see trend pick up steam or start to push a lot quicker in the direction that it's going without much hesitation. That's all momentum is. When you start to see candles pick up and form a lot bigger candles that are thick with no wicks and no hesitation to the opposite side, right? For example, strong buying pressure towards one direction or selling pressure in one direction without much hesitation from the opposite side, that's a sign of momentum. I don't know why it feels like something stuck in my throat. You can imagine it like volatility in one direction, not both directions. So, for example, let's say we're in a downtrend right here. This is an example of momentum, right? This candle right here. Why? Because a momentum is whenever it's sort of a trend, or honestly, it could be any direction. Generally, momentum just means whenever we start to pick up strong buying or selling pressure in one direction. But the way I incorporate it is in the context of a trend. Okay, so the way we would observe it on a chart, it's a lot easier to be observed in the live markets when you're seeing the actual candle be developed, right? But momentum may look like when price starts to pick up on a specific candle, you see an above average sized candle, for example, this right here, where it has not much wicks, like doesn't have really any wicks to either side and has strong pressure towards one direction, right? This candle has strong selling pressure towards one direction, right? We don't really know how this candle was formed because we only see the open, high, low, and close. Of course, we can scale to the lower time frame and figure that out, but right now, when we're looking back on data, it's a little more difficult to spot momentum because you can only see the open, high, low, and close. But when you're looking and trading intraday, it's a lot easier to spot it because you can see the candle push in the direction of the momentum, and it's a lot easier to distinguish if this is just a regular candle or if it has momentum. So markets are closed, but yeah, we are not going to see momentum at all. You could say this is momentum to the downside right here and momentum to the upside because it's a lot stronger relative to the previous price action. So, but if we look at the context of this, we have some momentum candles. If you guys are watching the markets today, we definitely chopped a crazy amount. Okay, but let's go to a time. We didn't have any entries today, by the way. No setups today. What we were looking for going to market was we wanted to see this uptrend hold. By the way, this video is about putting video is not about putting it together. There's a separate video that I'm going to make that is about putting together the strategy, combining momentum, trend, candlesticks, all that good stuff together to build the strategy that I use every single day that makes me bread over a long period of time. Okay, that's going to be covered in a separate video. But yeah, we didn't get a trade today. We'll try to find, this is an order block play that we took. But you could see these black candles, this is more market open. So we're going to see a lot of volatility in both directions. That's why you see thick candles in both directions because we basically have momentum in both directions, and that's volatility. That's literally what volatility means. Okay, let's find, this is a good example, I guess. So let's say we are in this downtrend, right? So we're going to be looking for momentum to the downside, right? Because we want to see momentum in the direction of the trend. That's essentially how I implement momentum. I don't care if it's against the trend, really, but I mainly incorporate it in a way where I want to use the momentum in the direction of the recent price actions trend. Okay, and if you guys haven't watched the previous videos, I highly recommend it because I cover how to understand trend and how to distinguish whether the recent price action is in an uptrend or in a downtrend, and why I use this 200 SMA indicator and how it helps all put together this whole strategy. But if you haven't, again, I still highly recommend it, but the putting together video will cover how I put everything together and quickly go over what we talked about from the previous videos. Okay, now going back to momentum, which is the topic of this video, this black candle is a strong sign of momentum. Why? Because the candle size is literally, first of all, we don't really see a candle this big at all. And along with that, it's clear just selling pressure. No, barely any wicks to the upside or downside. Right? That's a clear indication of momentum. And if we look over here, this down candle right here, this bearish candle picked up momentum after shifting the trend back to the downside, right? My strategy revolves around momentum, and I keep wanting to explain me taking the trade off of this momentum, but I'm trying to avoid it because I want to save that for the video where I'm covering how I'm going to put it together and give you guys examples of trades then. So I'm not going to talk about how I take trades right now. It's just explaining how, oops, just switch that. It's just going to be explaining how I spot momentum, what it looks like, and pretty much that's it. There's nothing else to know about momentum. You just need to understand what it is, what it looks like, and how to spot it. And the reason why it works, at least from my understanding, is that when we have momentum, price has a lot of strength towards one direction, right? We want to be on the side where the strength is going, where the aggressive buyers or sellers are, whatever side they're on, right? We want to play on that side, and momentum is an indication that the strength and aggression is in our favor, right? We're not going to want to go against the momentum. That's essentially the idea of and reasoning why I believe my system works the way it does. And these are order blocks and fair value gap trades. I don't know why I went back to this. But yeah, here is an example of momentum as well. So sloppy move down, a lot of wicks. This is a sign of no momentum. You see we have wicks to the upside and downside. That's a sign that the candlesticks are hesitating. It's a little confusing whether the sellers are in strength or buyers are in strength. Whenever it's clear that one side is in strength like this one, that's a sign of momentum, right? Strong buying pressure on one candle, no wicks. Okay, no. See how these have wicks? That means there's indecision. There's not clear decision in what price wants to do. But in this one, there is clear decision that price has a huge amount of aggression from the buyers, causing it to push up really strong with no wicks to the downside. Right? We might hesitate a very tiny bit on the way up, but because this candle is really strong, and usually when we have a strong candle like this, it's usually because of strong buyers. Okay, same with this candle. But then these two candles, momentum died off. Right, and we picked up momentum to the downside. This isn't really momentum, but sellers picked up strength. Okay, when we have extreme strength, that's when we have momentum. Momentum built up right here. This one was kind of momentum, and then a little bit weaker with this candle because of the wicks, but then this candle had strong momentum over here as well. All right, and then over here, momentum on this candle, this candle, this candle, strong momentum to the downside right here. These are like kind of momentum, but not as much momentum as this one. So you get the point, right? But then this whole area is not momentum, right? This whole area is not momentum because look at these wicks, these small bodies and small wicks. Ideally, if I had to describe momentum in a picture, it'd be something like this candle, right? Literally pure buying pressure towards one direction. Pure buying pressure towards one direction with very low wicks. Okay, I'm sure you guys probably get the picture now. What is momentum and what is not momentum? Finally, let's cover it one more time. Not momentum, like this. Just wicks, thin bodies, not much strength. What is momentum? Strength peaking up in one direction, like this candle, strong buying pressure, strong selling pressure, that is momentum. Okay? I have two trading systems which I'll cover in the coming videos. One of them is a trend following momentum system that combines trend along with the recent price actions trend along with momentum and prioritizes the trend over the momentum, but we still need to see both. But my second scalping strategy prioritizes momentum a little more than trend, right? Even though we could be clearly trending in one direction, momentum is a much bigger factor because there might be certain times where I trade against the trend, but the momentum is really strong against the trend that I can catch a scalp move off of, right? That's my very micro scalping strategy. I would call it the micro scalping strategy. The regular scalping strategy, that one relies more on trend over momentum, but it still incorporates both. Both strategies incorporate both, but one of them prioritizes momentum over the other, and the other one prioritizes trend over the other. So that pretty much sums up this video. Relatively short video compared to the other videos, But there's not much to know. I mean, you guys need to just be able to spot momentum on your own. That's all you guys need to do. So for the rest of this, for after this video or tonight, whatever time you get after this video, I want you guys to go on the charts and try to spot momentum. Look at today's trade of your guys' today's trade, because you guys might not be watching this the same video, same day that I recorded it. So I want you guys to go onto the charts on today's day, because that's like the most recent day where you're going to remember the price action, and go to the times where you saw momentum happen. I want you to spot the times where we have strength and the times where we don't have momentum, and be able to distinguish where price had momentum and where it didn't have momentum and what it looks like. Okay, go on the charts and do that for at least today's price action. At least today's price action. If you have good memory, go on the past week's price action, but try to go on today's price action and try to see what looks like momentum and what doesn't look like momentum, and be able to distinguish that. All right, so I'll be catching you guys in the next video. Everyone, take care.